Good morning and welcome back to Miniature Monday here on Gaming with ADHD, where today we are going to start our look at the miniatures that are included in the Battletech Mercenaries box set from Catalyst Game Labs. Now, this was released as part of the Kickstarter that was funded in 2023. And so what we're going to do is we're going to break this up into 3 different videos. We're going to have 2 videos based on the Battlemechs that are included in the box set, and then another video for the 4 vehicles that are included in the box set. But before we get started, I do want to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. I try to put out a few videos, do some live streams during the week where it covers all sorts of tabletop gaming content, whether it's miniatures, board games, role-playing, anything in between, and I'd love for you to come along and see what we have to share. For our live streams, we're doing deep dives into role-playing games and other rule systems. For miniatures games, we're also doing live streams for just interviews or painting, all sorts of things, and I'd love for you to come along and be a part of this. So, with that said, there are also going to be a couple of affiliate links. If you shop at DriveThruRPG or on Amazon, they are links that are going to help out the channel if you choose to use them. But regardless, we're just happy that you're here to check out the content. So, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. So for this video, we are going to look at 4 Battlemechs that are included in the Mercenaries box set. Now, I didn't pick them in any particular order or choice. I tried to mix it up of some lighter mechs and some larger mechs. So, there's just to give you a mix. But there is literally no rhyme or reason. But come back for the next video and you'll be able to see the rest of the Battlemechs. So, first up, we are going to take a look at the Devastator. Now, this is just a beast of a mech. As you can see, the images, or the figure is taking up most of the image. It is one of the larger mechs that Catalyst Game Labs has produced, equipped with railguns, PPCs, and some lasers. This thing is designed to do a whole lot of damage, and honestly, I absolutely love the figure. Just how big it is, how mean it looks. You will notice that there is a slight crack on the right arm. That is not normal. It does not come that way. It only happens when your friend decides that he wants to look at it and drops it on the floor. So, while generally these plastic minis are fairly hardy, there's enough mass in this guy that, be careful, folks. You don't want to damage your new toys. Anyways, but regardless, it looks really good. Really good detail, lots of armor plates. This guy is going to be an absolute treat to paint up. So that is the Devastator. Now, as always, while I'm going to give you the turnaround so you can take a look at the mech. We're also going to take a look at some of the art that has been done in the past to actually develop these mechs. Now, this is the original Devastator, which I believe was from Wolf's Dragoon. No, McCarran's Armored Cavalry was its first appearance. A little, I'd say, out of proportion. As you can see, the head looks a little small. The arms definitely a little small. These guns look, everything looks small, but then like the legs look extremely large. The body looks extremely large. I mean, there is a lot of space that is clearly not being used effectively. So, a little bit rougher image for the mech. But then we go to this one from 3058 by the infamous, well, not infamous, no, by the prolific Battletech artist. I really need to pick my words better. The prolific Battletech artist Dwayne Luce. Now this, it still has, kind of that beefy look that the Devastator is known for, but it's getting everything into a little bit better proportions. The legs are a little bit thinner. The guns are a little bit bigger. Overall, I much prefer this piece of art. But then we go to our Ill Clan art. Now, outside of my more modern complaint of the fact that they all look like they walked out of the exact same Battlemech factory, this one looks great. I think the proportions are finally where they need to be. The cockpit looks like it's the right size. The torso looks like it's the right size. The weapons look like they're the right size. Everything seems a lot better for just this massive mech. And I like it. I think it's a great setup. I think the miniature captures the art really well. And yeah, I am going to have fun painting this guy up again. Might have. Anyways, well, that's for another day. Yeah, so that is the Devastator. All right, next up we have the Firefly. Now, this is definitely coming in on the smaller scale of mech chassis. And this is originally from the Wolf's Dragoons sourcebook. Overall, I mean, not a bad design. It looks like it's a little bit bigger than the Locust. I like the inclusion of the really large jump jets on the back that you can see right there underneath. For lack of a better way to put it, I'm going to call it the wing structure. It's definitely a little bit different of a design, but I like it. It's a nice, clean look. Doesn't get too old. I don't know. There's just the combinations that are there. I mean, it looks sort of like an airplane on legs, which is not the only mech in this series of figures. I mean, in this box set, yes, but there's another one later that very much looks like an airplane given legs. And this one kind of keeps with that design, a little bit smaller though. But nice to have some nice light mechs. I like how the cockpit actually is a little bit more defined, a little bit easier to see. Sometimes the cockpits are like barely slits on these mechs, and I'm not sure that the pilot can actually see out. But regardless, this is a good one, and not really complaining. So we've got the Firefly. And for its art, we've got this, which was its original appearance in the Wolf's Dragoons book. Now, this, again, has that very classic Battletech look to it. Lots of line art sketches that, extend beyond the figure that clearly were left there by the artist while they were working on it. I like it. I mean, Dwayne Luce kind of set that standard, if you ask me. We then have this one from Tech Readout 3050. It's a good piece of art. I actually do like the art. It is a little frustrating though, because you're looking up from the bottom, which I never understood why they would do drawings like that. Mostly because, especially playing the game, you're never looking at them, from the bottom up. You're looking from the top down. So it's a weird perspective. I don't know why they would do that. Now, we did get this in 3050 upgrade with Brent Evans and his trademark checker boxes. I have decided that I'm going to point that out every time I see it. Don't ask me why. Brent, I still love you, man. It's all good. This actually, I think, is a little bit better. It's getting closer to the more modern mech, but it's still keeping a bit of that older school art. It's a good drawing. I like it. Now, next up, we've got this one by David White, because you can see that right there. Dave White is a great artist. I've actually met him. He was wonderful to talk to. Been many years since I've seen him last, but regardless, I still like his mech designs. I actually really like how this one kind of changed it up. This was in Historical Operation Klondike, and I just, it's a completely different look, but it's very clean, very stylish. Overall, I would have been really happy if they had just left this as the art for the the Firefly. The cockpit design, the weapons loadouts, these little sort of underwing cannons up here. Overall, I really really like this design, and I kind of want this one, but it's not what we get. And then we have this, which is our Ill Clan version. Again, the current manufacturing is getting the designs to match the art very very closely. This one is just hitting all of the notes, and so it is the Firefly. All right, next up we have the Chameleon, a 50-ton mech that I keep confusing its name. There is the Chameleon light something. Oh, dang it, now I feel like an idiot for not having it memorized. The Chameleon Light Polarization Shield, which is a straight up cloaking device that made its appearance in the Exterminator mech. And I painted one up, had a lot of fun with that, doing, like here's an actual paint job, and then here's, the cloaking device side. So that was fun. But I keep thinking it's this mech, and it's totally not. So overall, I like the design. It looks very much like it is a Phoenix Hawk Valkyrie Stinger variant, just based off of the legs. I will admit my history on the mech is limited. Not remembering it, from the early days. But overall, it's a decent design. It's got a really really large cockpit. If I had to make one complaint, outside of like the visibility levels of the different cockpits, it would be more for these figures, it would be more the different size of cockpits, because some of them seem absolutely massive, some of them are extremely small, and so I'm not entirely sure how big is the pilot that's actually sitting in there. So that's a little frustrating, but overall it's good. I like that it's got the hand weapon that was seen a lot early on. The Battlemaster, the Valkyrie, Phoenix Hawk, all those kinds of things had it. But as we get into the art, you'll also kind of understand that it definitely seems like kind of a hodgepodge of art as well. So definitely some interesting things going on. I like the giant thrusters on the back. This is a great one. Overall, as far like I'm noticing a couple of issues with the molding, but they're small enough that I'm honestly not going to care. So that is the Chameleon. And as far as the art, we have... All right, so first up, we have the first appearance, which was from the Battletech 2nd Edition box set. So again, this piece of art, you can kind of see, it looks sort of like a Battlemaster head, complete with the little antenna up here. You've got the Valkyrie legs and arms. It's definitely a hodgepodge of stuff, but it doesn't look bad, especially coming from the early art. Then when we go to this one from 3058, kind of giving it its own look while still maintaining the body styling. So overall, it's good. It's Dwayne Luce, so not a whole lot that I'm going to complain about. And then we get this one from the Ill Clan era. Definitely looks a lot bulkier, a lot beefier, but still maintaining a lot of things like the machine guns or autocannons here in the torso, large cockpit, Valkyrie styled legs. Overall it's a good translation of the art into the miniature. As I'm looking at this and doing the review, it is growing on me a little bit more. I think I'm liking it a little bit better. But overall, it is a great representation of a Battlemech. So that is the Chameleon. All right. And finally, we have the quick draw. Now, this is one that has been around from the early days of Battletech, making its first appearance in the 3025 technical readout, done again by Dwayne Luce. This is, again, pulling in one of those older mechs that didn't get a figure the first time around. And honestly, I think it's... Okay, spoiler alert for the art. It's getting a bit of... it's getting a lot of an improvement as far as its original look. Overall, this is... Like, when I think of Battletech, this kind of stuff is what I'm thinking of. Just the big, bulky, stompy robots ready to get in there and wreck some faces. I like the design. It's, you know, it's not super advanced. It doesn't look too retro, too indistinguishable. Overall, it's a good one. Now, this one, as I'm watching the turnaround go through, I'm seeing a lot more noticeable mold lines that we don't normally see. So I'm kind of split on it as far as the production. It does look like the torso was just split down the middle and not entirely put together very well, which I think is very strange, very odd. Like, you can see it. I mean, I can't get the mouse on there, but you can kind of see it, especially around the groin area, for lack of a better way to put it. It looks like it's just an unnatural split due to the casting. So yeah, that's a little bit disappointing. I hadn't realized that before I put the miniature up. So that is one thing I do like about doing these. It gives me a little bit, even just like a little bit closer up look at the mech itself. So overall, I like the design. I'm just kind of in shock about some of the casting. So usually they work just fine. This one is a bit strange. So yeah, so this is the quick draw. Again, not really complaining about the design, but yeah, definitely some casting issues on this one. But again, it's a 6mm figure. I'm going to forgive a lot. So, all right, let's take a look at the art here. So here is our original 3025 Dwayne Luce art. Again, weird perspectives. The arms look wrong size. The head is all off. So as much as I like Dwayne's art in a general sense, this one definitely seems off a little bit. Now, next up, we get this one from 3050, I believe. Yes, this is from the original tech readout, 3050. So cleaned up, still has these tiny little arms, or maybe it's supposed to be like a bent elbow or something. And so it's positioned back, but that's definitely some weird perspectives. This foot looks like it's, back, not just behind this foot, but like on the other side of the foot. So like it's doing like a fancy pose maneuver. Very strange. Oh well. It's not the current art. We then get another classic Brent Evans. Little strange. The proportions are definitely a lot better. The little Martian antenna helmet is strange, but I don't know. And then we have checkerboards everywhere. But overall, it is fine. It's getting a lot cleaner. And then we get this for our Ill Clan art. Definitely better. I now actually understand after seeing Brent's art. I mean, I had looked at it, but now that I'm putting it together, I now understand why it's got these little side pieces on its head in the current design, trying to replicate those antenna. They just look a little less strange, so well done to the new artist. But otherwise, This one, again, it's getting all the proportions right, and just setting it up in a way that is much easier to work with. So overall, not a bad start to the Mercenaries Battlemechs. I think, especially with these four, they've made some great choices as far as giving people some variety, especially since these are all brand new mechs. None of these have been repeated in previous box sets or force packs. So the fact that they are giving us more variety and new things is, fantastic. And I like the improvement on the art style. I do just wish and unfortunately it's way too late to say anything now, but I do wish that the mechs felt unique. It literally looks like, say, everything came out of a Toyota plant and they're all identical, even if they're different mechs. So that's a little frustrating, but overall, I think we're getting great miniatures and we're getting great new designs. So with that said, let me know what you thought. Have you gotten your Mercenaries box set? Have you looked at the miniatures? Do you think differently than me? Tell me that I'm wrong on some of these. I'd love to hear from you. But regardless, if you did like the video, please do give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Let everybody know that it's out here. But regardless, I appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you next time.